Okay, we back again. Let's start with Manchester United and FC Barcelona. That was the heavyweight game in the Europa League playoff. So that means Barcelona is not even making the Europa League run of 16th because the playoff are not yet the run of 16. Now they're about to start the run of 16th, and Barcelona is not part of it. Wow, interesting to say the least. Manchester United won 2-1. Fred and Anthony score. Lewandowski had scored a penalty first before in the first half. I think that win is well deserved. Manchester United played the tail off. It was so fluid. The pace was good. Looking at Barcelona, it was one of those games when they kind of look, especially the second half, they kind of look, and I was surprised. They look overwhelmed by Old Trafford, which I would not expect that for a team like Barcelona with the player that they have, the experience those players have. Those players play at a high level every week. They seem shook by the Old Trafford fan screaming at them. They really seem shook. And when United was pushing the pace, you can tell that it felt like they were like losing control of themselves and composure. They lost composure. I think that's what did him. Anthony scored clinical goal, put it exactly where he wanted to put it, 2-1, and Barcelona couldn't even come back after that. Rafael Varane was huge, almost at the end of the game, stopping two key opportunities for Barcelona to equalize. Um, the defense was solid, the offense was good. Marcus Rashford didn't have the game. I guess he didn't score, so he didn't have the game I thought he would have. But my boy Bruno Fernandes, to me, man of the match. This guy is the truth. He's the truth. I know some people don't have him high on their list, but I have him way up there. To me, best midfield in the Premier League. Best number, I guess it's number 10.5 or 8.5. To me, way better than Martin Odegaard and definitely better than Kevin De Bruyne. Or at least this season, he's been better than Kevin De Bruyne. I like him better than De Bruyne anyways because, yeah, he doesn't have the fancy passes that De Bruyne have, but I like Bruno Fernandes way better than like De Bruyne on that position because he defends way better. He has his leadership is solid and he gives it a 100% every time. He doesn't care about playing the prettiest game. He cares about fighting every single second on the pitch. So yeah, Bruno Fernandes to me man of the match. Also Rafael Varane, like I said, great game, especially down the stretch when Barcelona was trying to come back to the game. And that's it, 2-1. Barcelona is out of there, out of Europe. Didn't even make the Europa League deep run. Does that say something about La Liga? I'm not sure that the team that's on top of La Liga just got bounced out of the Europa League, basically. I wouldn't say much about La Liga because Real Madrid is second in La Liga and on their way to the quarterfinal of the Champions League, so it's not so much an indictment on La Liga, but it is something to say about Barcelona. There's no excuses. They had all the players they wanted. Now you say Dembele is injured, okay, but we had Rafinha. You had Rafinha in your starting 11. You had Lewandowski. I don't know why Javi likes Sergio Roberto this much on this flank. Why not, or the pacey other player? Why not Ansu Fati? I think Ansu Fati is better than Sergio Roberto on that flank. So, but he does what he wants. He's the coach. I'm starting to question how good of a coach Javi is really. Now, Ferran Torres is not my favorite player, but at least put an actual attacker player. Don't put Sergio Roberto, who's pretty much a Swiss Army knife, who just does pretty much everything, but he's not a specialist on that left flank, at least not to my knowledge. The midfield, Casey, I thought had a solid game, but then he got lost a little bit with the Man United pressure, especially Bruno Fernandes was in their face. Busquets was okay. Frankie de Jong was good. But, other than they couldn't keep up. Basically, that's what it is. They couldn't keep up. Man United pushed the pace and had the rhythm that Barcelona could not keep up with. It was great. It looks nice to see. I don't like Barcelona particularly anyways. I don't even like United anyways. But if I'm going to be fair, Barcelona looked a little bit overwhelmed, especially when United was pushing for the equalizer and to finish off the game. It looked like they were kind of overwhelmed, and I was surprised about that. What's next for Barcelona? Not sure. La Liga, really. That's all they have left fighting for. La Liga, But then what's next for Man United? Is Man United going to win the Premier League and the Europa League? That will be quite a season for them. I don't see them doing that, but it will be quite a season. What does that say about Ten Hag compared to Xavi? I think Ten Hag has Ten Hag shown that he's a better coach than Xavi? That's debatable. I'm not sure yet. He's definitely doing a better job right now than. Well, I can't say he's doing a better job because Xavi is first in La Liga. But United is third in the Premier League. Yeah, I'm gonna say shoot. Yeah, I think I'm gonna say Ten Hag. At least this season is well on them on the head to head. Ten Hag had the best of him. So as far as right now, Ten Hag was a better coach. His team went through, and Ten Hag is proving people that he's won. He keeps winning. The more he wins his battle in the heart of the United fan for what happened with Cristiano Ronaldo. For him to keep winning, he's winning. He won already the public opinion, I think. Now, even if he doesn't win the Premier League, unless he falls off miserably, he's already proven that the philosophy he wanted to implement it's doable and that can work long term. So, on that note, Ten Hag is the man. He's doing things his way, and his way is working right now. So, yeah, 2-1 was the final score. After that, a 2-2 game in Barcelona. United advanced on the round of 16. We will see the draw and figure out who they're going to face next. But that was not the only game of the day. And up next, we had the rest of the Europa League games today. FC Nantes lost 3-0 to Juventus. Aggregate 4-1 because FC Nantes tied 1-1 in Torino. They were hoping to finish up the game at home, but as I said in the previous video, I knew Juve was going to be too much for them, and that's what happened. Di Maria scored a hat-trick. What a fantastic first goal he scored. Di Maria still has it. Yeah, he was the man of the match, Angel Di Maria. 3-0 for Juve. Now waiting for the round of 16 draw, see who they're going to face. I think Juve can go far in this competition depending on how they pick up the pace for their form. A good drawing on the round of 16 could help them pretty much ease their way into the hardest part of the competition. But yeah, Nantes, the dream is over. They had a really good game in Torino, like I said last week. 1-1. They were hoping, but Juve was just too much for them. Midland lost 4-0 to Sporting Lisbon. Sporting really crushed them at the end. Remember last week when Sporting couldn't beat them, it was 1-1. And I said Sporting was still going to be able to go through because they have the most talent of the two teams. They're the more talented team, more experienced team, and Midland is just there for, hoping for a miracle. It didn't happen. 4-0, 1-5 aggregate for Sporting. AS Monaco and Bayer Leverkusen, the exact same score, 3-2 both games. So, yeah, Monaco beat Leverkusen at home, away, and Leverkusen beat Monaco at home 3-2. So it was a 5-5. I think it's the most goal we've seen of all the ties. Yes, 5-5. And Leverkusen went to win a penalty to 5 penalty to 3. Leverkusen on to the next round. Then Union Berlin and Ajax Amsterdam. Yeah. As I feared and as I hope for Union Berlin trashed Ajax 3-1 after a 0-0 game in Amsterdam. I was kind of, cautious, thinking, is Ajax going to push the pace on Union Berlin? This was the game to see how serious Union Berlin want to be this season. So they've decided to get way more serious and not only first or second on the table in the Bundesliga. Seems like they're for real. So Union Berlin win 3-1 and on to the next phase. And then PSV Eindhoven defeated Sevilla 2-0 and they scored the two goals almost at the end of the game. One goal got taken back for a super slide offside. I think it could have been a 3-3. I know it was offside, but in the spirit of the game, it would have been crazy had they equalized and went to extra time. But Sevilla made it. They won 3-0 at home and they lost 2-0 in Eindhoven. So it doesn't answer all the questions that we had about Sevilla. It would have been nice as Sevilla finished the game on a good note, even a draw or win against PSV Eindhoven. But the way they kind of crumble at the end of the game makes me tell they're not completely healed. The same issue still there. So I guess last week game was a fluke, them winning 3-0 because they couldn't buy an opportunity tonight. 2-0 for PSV, but Sevilla goes through on 3-2 aggregate. Stade Rennais and Shakhtar Donetsk was the only game that went extra time today. 2-1 was the score today, and 2-1 was the score on the previous game too. So 3-3. But unfortunately, Stade Rennais lost in penalty shootout 4-5. Shakhtar Donetsk advanced to the next phase. Next up, AS Roma. AS Roma defeated Red Bull Salzburg 2-0 after Roma losing in Austria last week 1-0. As I said, Mourinho, there would be no excuses. You're not supposed to lose against Red Bull Salzburg, no matter how good they play. I know they play attractive football, but AS Roma should have the experience, and Jose Mourinho should have the experience to finish up the game, the job. And they did 2-0 in Stadio Olympic in Roma, and AS Roma is off to the next phase. So, yeah, all the games are done, and for the Europa League playoffs, again, quick recap. Juve, Leverkusen, Manchester United, Union Berlin, Sporting Lisbon, Sevilla, Shakhtar Donetsk, and AS Roma are the team that make it through and go to the next phase in the Europa League. The rest of the team, it's time to rethink, focus on domestic leagues. The European season is over for all of them, especially for FC Barcelona. So yeah, let me know in the comment below what you think about today's action in the Europa League. Juve trashing Nantes at home. United defeating FC Barcelona in the Europa League. That could be the semi-final Champions League game. And AS Roma went through. And I will see you on the next one.